Patrick.
Thank you very much indeed. I have to say that following a consultant on the subject of leadership is a fairly scary thing. And having just admitted to him that I completed this speech by the swimming pool an hour and a half ago, having landed from London, I think probably I'll be getting a visit from the Accenture leadership consultancy team this week. I feel enormously privileged to be here today. I've heard a lot about this summit, and here in the audience I see many faces who have helped us in Aviva to get our business up and running, both in the life insurance sector and also in the BPO sector. And also many people who have successfully put India on the map as the place to be seen to be doing business now. I think that I'm starting to already rewrite my script as I've heard Steve, but I do feel very humble being asked to come here and talk about my feelings about leadership. I'm certainly no expert. I guess I'm a practitioner who tries to learn as he goes along day by day. My experiences are based on 19 years in the British Army and 15 years in business. And I guess with both of those, I've always subscribed to the theory of leadership proposed by that great English physicist, astronomer and philosopher, Sir Isaac Newton, who said, "If I've ever seen further than others, it was because I was standing on the shoulders of giants." The fortunes of the businesses that I've been privileged to lead or be involved in have not been created by myself or the leadership teams, but by everyone involved. And I believe that they succeed because it's about the opportunities that people in the business see. It's the processes that they build, and it's the customers that they serve. And they don't do it because we ask them. They do it, I believe, because they're part of a successful organization and a successful business. I guess in any successful business, it has leaders who listen to their staff, who allow them to spot opportunities, allow them to build processes, and allow them to serve customers. When we did a very large merger about 5 years ago, and we tried to merge 4 of the biggest insurance companies in the UK, one on top of the other, we had a slight cultural issue. In fact, we had many cultural issues. And over a period of time, I worked with René Babome and Chan Kim of INSEAD to look at ways in which we could develop a new culture. And we called this care and leadership. And we worked with our own staff. In those days, I guess it was about 20,000 people. And we asked them how they should set the processes up, how they should run the business, how we should look after customers, how we should care for each other. And I would love to talk on for hours about it, but I think you can read it in one of Chan's books. But the key outcome, from my point of view, was that in 18 months, we halved the call center turnover in all our call centers from the national average of 30% down to 15%. And it is now lower than that. So I think that's a very clear indication of how you involve people. As an army officer, the relationship with one's soldiers is built up based totally on trust. And that trust has to be earned. It doesn't matter whether you're going to war, you're out on a patrol, you're in an internal security situation, you're building a road. You need to know that the people are behind you. And as they say, that they are following you simply not out of idle curiosity to see what you'll do next. In the 12 years I spent with the Norwich Union, I have to say that I have seen no difference in the challenges faced in the armed forces or business. The circumstances and situations are very different, but the ingredients of leadership, in my view, are identical. I believe there are 5 simple principles. The first is absolute clarity of vision and goals, and having the strategy and the plans to achieve them. The second is to make absolutely certain that whatever you're doing is easily understood. And the bigger the organization and the more complex the program and the bigger the challenge, the simpler the story has to be. because all of you have experienced this message, that the message starts at one saying, send reinforcements, we're going to advance, and it gets down to the other end and it says, send 3 and 4pence, we're going to advance. And how often have you experienced that in your business careers? 3 and 4pence is very old currency, so it shows how old I am in England. But it's absolutely important that it's easily understood, and it plays to people's strengths, it plays to the resources you have, and it plays to the assets that you have available. Because there's absolutely no point in creating a plan that doesn't come together because you haven't got the right people, the right assets, or the right resources, or the right time. When you come to execute the plan, you must execute it with absolute determination and with confidence. And in my view, the first head above the parapet has to be the head of the person leading it. There's an old saying, you should always say, come on. You should never say, go on. I think the next one, my principle, has always been to try and anticipate change before it happens. By giving flexibility in your plans and explaining that flexibility ahead, I believe that you will calm many of the nervous people who may be involved. And also, I think that you'll stay one step ahead, either on the field of battle or in the field of business. They always say that the best laid plans do not survive the first 5 minutes of contact. And it's important to work on intentions. The basis of the military planning and orders is very much around mission command. Mission command is about you tell people what to do, but you don't tell them how to do it. That's their job. And it's very important that you allow that space and you allow people to make their own plans, in my view, to meet in with yours. But they can only do it if they're absolutely clear what your intentions. And I think the last one, and the most important, and it's something that, just building on what Steve said, is to demand teamwork and to celebrate collective success. The one word that we do not use enough in business, in my view, are 2 simple words, and they are thank you. I think those 2 words go an awful long way in difficult circumstances to make people feel appreciated. And they're fundamental, I believe, to our success. In terms of style, I guess in Europe we do have 2 very different styles of management. I think that the main European style is very consensual. It has a very successful outcome, but it comes in a different way. I guess the Anglo-Saxon style of management is a lot more direct. And you wouldn't be surprised to know that that's probably the style of management that I come from. But it's about listening, it's about assessing, it's about consulting, it's about deciding, and then it's about execution. And I come back to the fact that once you get to execution, it has to be absolutely ruthless, it has to be absolutely focused. Just translating some of these principles into the very successful operations that we've established in India over the last 3 or 4 years. In 2003, beginning of 2003, we had nobody working for my company in the UK in India. By the end of this year, we will have 9,000 people working in India. And that is a combination of BPO, offshoring, and outsourcing. And it's great to see many of our partners in the audience today.